A hallmark of our summit in the last number of years has been the presentation of the State of the Island report.
If you don't recognize where the trends are going, then you can't be proactive. And I think we all benefit from being proactive.
Vancouver Island Economic Alliance's State of the Island report is intended to be an overview of the Vancouver Island economy that will allow people to understand sort of the trends over time, as well as help them inform decisions. So what we're trying to do is give people an understanding of what's going on in a way that somebody who doesn't have a lot of training in economics would understand, so they can say what it means for their business.
The idea of the report came actually out of the summits, because pretty well every year before we started producing the report, we would attract a senior economist from somewhere in Canada to give the gathered delegates a picture of the state of the island economy.
Another big part of the story here on Vancouver Island in terms of economic growth over the last few years has been population. So as I was saying, BC has had one of the strongest economies in Canada, and that has been attracting people from other parts of Canada, as well as we've been seeing people moving around within BC. So there's been a lot of people coming to Vancouver Island from the north and a lot of people moving from the Lower Mainland. People moving from the Lower Mainland have been coming because of affordability issues in Vancouver, and there's also been people moving here to retire. Most of the other interprovincial migration that we've seen has been due to the economic conditions here. People are coming seeking job opportunities.
This report just makes so much sense, and it makes sense to present it at this summit where it's a chance to really look at every year, where are we at? Where's the economy? Where's it been in the last year? And where's it going in the next year and beyond?
The report is really a culmination and gets more valuable over time, but it's a representation of how well our economy is doing. And because we're non-government and because we're non-profit, it really is the frank truth.
I think people generally understand that we are now in the age of data, and the report is data. And that information is extremely valuable.
We've received feedback from a number of different sources, whether it's clients or just other industry groups that we work with, and they continue to talk about how valuable it is to have accurate, up-to-date information about what's happening in our economy. It's easy to look out and you can read the newspapers and get a feel for what's happening, but in this case it's all based on data. And I think that's the key.
There's two sources of data that we use. The first is information that's published by Statistics Canada and BC Stats and various different organizations on economic indicators such as gross domestic product, unemployment rates, population levels, and so on. And then there's where we go out and we talk to industry associations that are operating on Vancouver Island. We talk to businesses and we talk to different stakeholders just to understand what is behind this. Some really good examples of that are aquaculture and forestry. So the numbers that are reported for there are for BC as a whole, or that aren't specific to the island, and to understand why there's big swings or what the movements are. We actually spend a lot of time talking to local businesses and local operators here on the island.
I would say this year there was nothing in particular that really jumped out at us. Last year we saw a tremendous shift in population and in property values and things like that. So it really showed the trends. And you asked a question earlier, because now that we're in the fourth year, we're able to now chart trends. We can see where we were in 2015, where we were apples to apples, 2016, 2017, and now 2018.
Since the first report in 2015, the State of the Island Economic Report has become a model for other regions to follow. We are the leader in a number of different areas. For different communities, look to us as a place that they want to follow in terms of how they are looking at their region and looking at what their communities can achieve.
Vancouver Island has traditionally been having every year less and less participation in our labor force. And the last 3 years, Vancouver Island is actually the only region in British Columbia where participation in the labor force has increased 3 years in a row. And so we're still not where we want to be, but we're heading in the right direction, and the report tells us that.